spirituality and sexuality, one major area of conflict in marriages. And of course, we overcome conflicts and problems, part of it by education, by discussion, by guidance, by counseling. The second area, Dr. Dina covered my parents or my in-laws, another area of conflict, and we can write books and stories about this. The third area, Dr. Nabil explained to us on biblical basis how to convey feelings, how to communicate affection. Another area also needs exploration, and I'm glad I was impressed by the modeling, the visual example that the couples showed to us, because sometimes we can talk theoretically, but when it comes to application, we'll have problems. The fourth area we're covering today is an area of conflict in families, which is Christian parenting. If you notice, we get training or a license for any job in the United States. You either have a license to be a professional person or some training. If you are not a person for studying, you work with your hand, you need some training in painting, in laying carpet, in car mechanics, in anything. So either a license or training. We do that in every area in life except the most two important areas, which are marriage and parenting. يعني excuse me in my expression, I will say it in Arabic, بنعملها بالبطاطا, with good intentions, inshallah, and it will work good, inshallah. Okay? And it doesn't. Yeah. The way, somebody said, the way الطريق إلى الجحيم مفروش بالنوايا الطيبة. So not intending to be good will make me a good husband / wife or parents. So the area I'm going to talk about today, with God's grace, our whole motto, title for the day is Biblical Basis for a Marvelous Marriage. We need to go back to what the Bible is teaching us. Dr. Yusri did that in sexuality, and Dr. Adina did that with the in-laws and the parents, our own parents, and Dr. Nabil did that in a beautiful display of affection from the Song of Songs, and it was a physical display based on a spiritual background. So, how to get an A in Christian parenting? There is no such a thing as a perfect parent. That doesn't exist. We like to think that we are, but we are not. Even if you are a child psychiatrist, that doesn't make you a perfect parent. Why? We learn as we go, but we need some basic ground rules on which we can base our raising of our children. I want to start with clarifying what is the difference between parenting and Christian parenting. Anybody can tell me? I know the dessert was heavy, and they always give me the most difficult lecture at the end of the day. People are tired and heavy, and so I will just take my chance, see what I can do with that. What do you think is the difference between parenting and Christian parenting? Anybody can tell us? You don't have to give us the correct answer. Yes.
Just to the best of my knowledge.
Yes.
Christian parenting is parenting. Christian parenting is based on putting God. God is the center in the lives, in the unity of the family, and if this is the base, then everything's going to revolve around.
Excellent answer. The difference is parenting. You can find secular books about parenting, and For a secular person, it might have good advice. But Christian parenting is where God, as she said, nice, I like the expression, the family is revolving around God. The family is a Christian family, has Christian principles. And when I get confused, I go back to the manual, the Bible. That's our manual. And this is a very simple differentiation, because if you check parenting books on the internet, you will get craziness in your head, because it's just 2 million books. The Christian parenting books are few hundreds, maybe. St. Paul is teaching us a beautiful verse in 2 Timothy 1:5. He's saying, I call to remembrance the genuine faith that's in you. He's talking to Timothy, which dwelt first in your grandmother Louise and your mother Eunice, and I am persuaded is in you also. As if the Christian heritage, as if it is hereditary. You don't inherit it just by blood, but you inherit it by modeling the behavior to the next generation. In other words, to be a Christian father / mother / Sunday school teacher / teacher, I need to model the Christian behavior in front of the younger generation. Not only talk about it, because talking about it is not going to do it. If I live it and it is being seen and it is being manifested, at that time the younger generation can grab it. St. John Chrysostom, he departed in the year 407. Look at the beautiful enlightenment by the Holy Spirit. He's saying that's the 4th century and early 5th century. After raising the children correctly, everything else is secondary. Somebody might tell me, how about my job? I thought, working hard, working long hours, building a future and all. Okay? My answer is, although the Christian person should be productive in the secular world, but if I don't make money now, I can make money later. And if I don't make money ever, a regular TV, not flat screen TV, will do. I don't have to have a microwave at my home. It is not necessary for living. And if I don't have it next year, I can have it after 5 years. Nobody will die from that. If I neglect raising my children in the proper formative year, I cannot go back and correct it. That is the difference. How about my education? I need my PhD. Okay? It is a balance. If my PhD is going to affect my home, my wife, and we saw the lack of affection, what does it do in marital couples? But also, we'll see if I am not available for my children, I can get the PhD later on, or it is not necessary for salvation, Christian salvation, and for my life. Also, St. John Chrysostom said, children are given to us by God as clay given to a potter. Our job is to mold them into His image. That's my job. His image, not to make them gods, but to have divine quality, to have virtues. How do I do that? By me modeling it. Okay. Of course, when you talk about children and Christian parenting, you can't avoid listening to some jokes. I know a friend of mine, a doctor, physician, and he's a Christian physician, and he kept telling his child, 5-year-old boy, Mike, where does Jesus live? In your heart. So Mike grew up, where does Jesus live? In your heart. So one day my friend, a physician, was coming back from the hospital with his stethoscope in his car. So Mike, the little boy, asked Dad, the physician, Dad, can I listen to your heart to see what Jesus is doing? So the doctor, if I say no, okay. He said, oh, okay. So the boy, Mike, took the stethoscope and put it on his dad's heart, and he listened to. After the boy finished, Dad asked him, "Did you find Jesus?" He said, "Yeah." Dad asked him, "What do you think he's doing?" Mike said, he said, "I think he's making coffee." I told you my wife accuses me of being what? لا ما قالتش redundant. ما قالتش redundant. قالت ايه؟ Boring and redundant. Actually, when she told me redundant, I got excited because you can be boring and intelligent. I thought redundant is positive. So I went to the dictionary to find it, it is also boring, double boring. But also she accuses me sometimes of being irrelevant. Irrelevant. Yeah, irrelevant. Yeah, I have an accent. Yeah. Irrelevant. She always tells me, you're talking about a subject, and suddenly, what happens? Another one. Here is the example. Talking about Christian parenting, we are talking about what? What do you call this sport? Relay race. Yeah. The relay race is a certain jogging race where we have few members in the team, and one member will take, do you know what you call the thing in his, what do you call it? Baton, that's right. And the person runs fast to give it to what? To the next person, that's right, like this. And they get trained, okay? The one person in the front, he gets trained what to do without looking. Because if by the time you look, milliseconds are lost, okay? And the person who's holding it, receiving it, is trained with the hand sensitivity once he touches it to grab it. I think you started to think that my wife is right. Right? That's in your head. Yeah? I know, I'm a psychiatrist. You know what's in your head. Okay. Look at this guy. The guy in the front, what's he doing? What do you see in his face? He's very serious, mentally focused on what? What he's going to receive from the back, right? And the guy in the back is what? To give it to the one in the front. Look at the next one. Well received. One in the front is a little bit younger, you can tell. Is that correct? And unfortunately, look at the last picture. He lost a grip on it, and the race is history. You can't go back and catch it. Okay, it's gone. It is milliseconds. The whole thing is not, there is no time to go and grab it. Do you know why my wife is saying what she was saying? Because what? She's smart, yeah, and she notices the abnormalities in the behavior. That's right. But I want to connect you to what I was saying. Because it looks irrelevant, but it is relevant. That is the Christian faith. This is why in the liturgy, what do we say? From what to what? From generation to generation. The Christian faith can be lost only if the parents fail to deliver it to the next generation. The link is cut. Because my child who's going to grow up is not going to grow up as a real Christian, and subsequently will not marry a Christian marriage, and could subsequently is not going to raise Christian children. And the link is gone. This is how important Christian parenting is. I meant to give you a visual impression so it will stay in your head. What you see here is what you have in the handout. If you feel anything extra you want to write down, you can welcome to take notes, but also we welcome your questions, and Raouf will start collecting them. So at the end, all of us, the four speakers, will be together to entertain questions about all the lectures or any other subject. They said that children are a great deal more open to follow your lead than the way you point. Some of us some of the parents are like the freeway sign, 405 south. The sign has been on the freeway since 1962. That's when they built it. Okay? For the past, whatever, 50-something years. Right? The sign never went to San Diego. Just telling you. Ahmed, لو عايز تروح San Diego, that is the way. Just keep going all the way, this way. It never went. And some of our parents are like that. Telling the child, if you want, that's what you should do, without modeling the behavior. I'm just telling you, it does not work. Is it too late now to start paying attention to my children, to raise them the Christian way? The answer is no. It's not too late. It's not too late at any time for anybody to start changing the behavior. Whether I am a parent, or I am engaged, or I am married and don't have children, or I am married and have children, or I am married and my children are grown up, it is a cycle. Because if my children are grown up, that means they are going to get married and I'm going to be a grandma very soon. If my child is 12, is it too late? No, it's not too late. He is 18, she is 18. It's not too late. Because by seeing the changes in you, the child will get the impression Christian people, through the Holy Spirit and the grace of God, can change in a positive manner without me talking. Okay, so now how are we going to get, as a parent, how can we get an E in Christian parenting? We are going to talk about 4 A's. One of them, Dr. Nabil beautifully explained as marital couple. We call it affection. Anybody can give me a synonym for affection? Affection means what? Just raise our hands just to be organized. We are all adults. But yes. Tenderness is affection, yes. Affection, what does it mean? Who is English major here? نرفع ايدينا للتنظيم. Commitment? No, مش commitment. No. Yes? Love, to show love, to show affection, to show tenderness, Yusuf. To show attention, of course, attention is part of the affection. What? Caring, to show caring if somebody needs help or sick or down or anybody else? Okay. Yes. Sensuality? Yeah, sensuality and sexuality, we leave that to the couples. Yeah, we'll talk about Christian parenting. How can I show affection as a Christian parent? But sensuality is in between the couple. You are right. Am I explaining myself? Okay. كل ما اشوفكم نمتوا شويه هرقعكم اكتر. لان هو كده afternoon, that's the way you have to go. بيقول لك في راجل من couple, the husband was from Upper Egypt. سعيدي, برافو عليك. Yeah, so they went to a Christian counselor like Dr. Nabil Ba'i, and the counselor, a lady, and decided that the conflict is about affection. They fight, okay, but what is the area? I told you, it is 10 specific areas that we know. The areas of the conflict is about the affection. The husband, the man, is not into affection. He is Saidi, and that's, again, according to his mind, that's against manhood. That's just something feminine he will not do. And of course, the wife has been complaining and feeling deprived and depressed, and all the consequences. So the lady counselor, after the session, stood up and gave the lady, the wife, a kiss on the cheeks and on the other cheek, and she looked at the husband and she told him she needs one like that every day. The husband asked the counselor, what time tomorrow do you want me to bring her? But affection for the children is a little bit different. Affection means we give them kisses and hugs, tenderness, touches, care when they are sick, have a fever, they need a physician, they need some uplifting. if they are down, the affection is related to raising the children spiritually. Not only psychologically healthy, but they will be spiritually healthy. Children, they look at parents as many, M-I-N-I, gods. Why? Two things. Number one, omnipotence is one of the characteristics of the divine attributes. God has certain characteristics. This is why he is not a man like you or me. One of them is omnipotent. He can do anything at any time he wants. Children see us as omnipotent. They discover later on or not, but at a certain age, when they are between maybe 4 to 7, they discover, they consider parents as omnipotent. And also, when we pray, we say, "Our Father who art in heaven." In the subconscious, if the father figure is absent or harsh, the person spiritually will not be close to God. If the earthly example I had seen as a father is harsh or not available for me, is incapable of giving the child an affection, the child will make the connection between the earthly father and the spiritual father. So if the earthly father can not show me affection, subsequently the heavenly father that I never seen is not going to be doing that for me. So our jobs as fathers and mothers are very important regarding the spiritual growth of the children. This is why a harsh father figure can be a factor to atheism. Anybody can explain that to me? When an atheist person comes and tells you, "Where is God? Can you show me God? Where does he exist? What's his address?" We have no physical proof that God exists. That's correct, yeah. So this person decides God doesn't exist. When you go deeper into analysis, the causes of atheism has many causes. One of them is a harsh father figure. Anybody can connect both? Anybody who did not eat much basbousa? Yes. You ate much basbousa, but you can answer. No, I saw you. No, I saw you. But you can answer.
If the earthly figure as a father is harsh and not kind to me, how come the one I don't see is going to be better than that?
How come the one I don't see is kind and can give me affection and can accept me when I mess up? When I repent, he will accept me. That's correct. Okay. Also, an absent father figure can be a contributing factor in two things. Number one, teenage boys ending up in juvenile halls. This is proven scientifically. Why? The presence of the father figure is important to modulate the impulsivity of the boys. Of course, if the father departed to heaven or something happened, we try to replace him with another father figure. It doesn't have to be a biological father. Now, عندنا جدو or uncle or Sunday school teacher or abuna who's involved, that's fine. But the absence of a father figure in the early childhood of children, especially for boys, is very damaging. The research in juvenile hall is a prison for teenagers. Found that most of them, they were raised with no father. And number two, it contributes to male homosexuality. You will hear from everybody in the media that homosexuals are born as such. It's everywhere. I have one problem with this. There is no scientific proof to prove what they're saying. When you hear from anybody that homosexuals are born as such, this is medical, psychological facts, has nothing to do with the religion. So ask the person to give me the double-blind study that said that. Some people have certain gene center abnormalities. Homosexuality has certain reasons known in counseling. One of them in male homosexuals is the absence of a male figure during childhood. So by me being a father with affection involved with the children, I am preventing these two catastrophes. Each one of them can take long time to talk about. Okay? So what's healthy parenting? Healthy parenting is a thin line between love without spoiling on one side, and the other side, what is the other side? Firmness without violence. Let me take an extreme example. If the parents are loving and spoiling, what do you think will happen to the child? جماعة اللي ورا ممكن answer يعني. Yeah, you are part of the group. I know you lost, but that's okay. Yeah. If the parents, and some parents, some Christian parents are like that. They think love and giving all the time with no reason and unnecessarily is the way to raise the children. What do you think happened to a child like that? Love with spoiling. What it will produce. اصحوا معايا يا جماعة. ارفع ايدك، نرفع ايدك بس عشان نشوفك. اتفضل يا ريتشارد. Spoiled means what? ما spoiled دي اصلا قولها كده يعني. Doesn't care, doesn't value money, doesn't earn his stuff, is self-absorbed, self-narcissistic. Michael? Sense of entitlement. Everything should come to me, I don't earn things. Dad and mom giving me all the gadgets and presents. Yes, Lisa. Will not take responsibility. Excellent point. Yes, immaturity. The person can be 45 and he is acting like a teenager or she is acting like a teenager. Yes. Promotes behavior that's illegal. Taking drugs or theft or joyrides or... That's correct. حد عايز يقول حاجة؟ أيوة رؤوف. Selfish, self-centered. We said self-centered, selfish, just give me. And when you give me more. Okay? Okay, let's go to the other extreme. What is the other extreme? The other extreme. I said the healthy parenting is a thin line between two extremes. One extreme is to love the child and spoil him or her. What is the other extreme? Exactly. Firmness with violence. What do you think that will produce? Yes, Shireen.
He won't have a personality.
He will not have... Why? Why he will not have a personality?
He's used to being put down all the time.
Exactly. He's compressed, suppressed. Yes. Fear of punishment. Okay. Yeah. Low self-esteem, anxiety, anger, suppressed anger. Lisa. Exactly, cannot express himself because he was put down, she was put down as a child. So if I'm going to express myself, I'm afraid of the punishment. I just swallow my feelings. Keep it inside. Of course, this is psychologically and spiritually unhealthy. Okay, عشان to move, who can give us examples of parental affection? Dr. Nabil showed us the example of couple affections. Okay, but tell me example of affection as a parent, as a father or the mother. Dr. Naim? Simplify it for me. I'm not a religious guy.
The son coming back home and the father running towards him, embracing him, forgiving him, not giving him confess or repent or regret.
Luke 15, the prodigal son coming back to his father. A beautiful example of showing affection, father-son affection. What other forms of affection do you suggest? Shireen?
Praising.
Praising. If you wait 1 minute, we'll go on to the next point. Yes.
I think spend real time with the child, connecting.
Yeah. The problem with a group like that, with very high IQ, is that they pretend they're bringing me to talk to them. خد بالك؟ And they know everything. I don't need to talk to them. They know it from upside down, and they spoil your lecture. They tell you what you're going to say in advance without seeing it. Yeah. But we're coming to this point. This is a separate point. Affection. Affection. Stick to affection. Yes. Healthy nutrition is, it will build a good physical structure. Feeding them when they are hungry is a sign of affection, of course. Feeding the baby, the mama will wake up at 2 a.m., okay, and interrupt her sleep, of course. Yes, Lisa. Empathizing when they are stressed, depressed, angry. I can imagine how would that feel. I can see how difficult that was on you. I'm so sorry, feeling blank blank. Empathizing, excellent. Okay? Shireen? Hugs and kisses, excellent. Yes, honey. Sir?
Touching and listening.
Touching and listening, yes. The same, Doctor.
Unconditional love.
Unconditional love. ده طبعا موضوع بقى ايه؟ ده موضوع لوحده. That's right. So these are examples of parental affection. We'll go back to second point, another A. Remember, we have, our topic is what? شكلكم نمتوا. شكلكم لا ما دام نمتوا بام. هي كده، ما هو السيستم بتاع الكوبتيك تشيرش كده. بيقول لك you saw a child finishing Sunday school class, 5-year-old child. So the Sunday school teacher asked him, تعالى يا مايكي, what did Jesus say about marriage? So Mikey is a little child. He doesn't know what marriage, what Jesus said, doesn't know about St. Paul's writing about marriage. So he said, about marriage. Oh, I know. Jesus said about marriage, Father, forgive them because they don't know what they're doing. Okay. Number 2 in the how to get an A in Christian parenting is affirmations. And this is where I want examples from you. It is different than affection. Who can give me examples of affirmation? Yusuf.
Praising the good deeds you do and emphasize on repeating it every time you can.
Excellent. If you can't hear in the back, praising the good deeds the children are doing and repeating the praise every time the child is doing the good deed. في السيكولوجي يا جماعة في very basic principle. Okay? The behavior that gets rewarded will continue and prosper. The behavior that gets neglected will get extinguished. معايا ولا؟ I forgot. Actually, when you arrive to be at my age, okay, the memory is really a problem. Okay, صحيح. Okay, you will have 3 main problems. Okay, number 1 is I forgot. Okay, so we'll repeat it again. What did we say? The behavior that gets rewarded, comma, حطي comma, okay, will continue and increase, will flourish, will prosper, will get intensified. Period. من أول السطر. The behavior that gets neglected will extinguish, will get extinguished like the fire. It dies away. It fades away. Bravo, Ali. It dies away. Okay, so we got examples of parental affirmation. We see the affirmation style in Jesus with the Samaritan woman. If you want to talk about her behavior, you can talk about from here till tomorrow. If you want to give her a nomenclature, a name, slang name, you can come up with 10 or 15. Christ never used any of these. And he told her about her husband. Go get your husband. She said. She confessed. But Jesus didn't tell her anything bad she did. And because of his love and the affirmation of her and spending time with her, she got hooked. Zacchaeus was a hated man, a tax collector. The leper, St. Peter in his denial of Christ. Christ had given him a lecture for 5 hours. He just looked at him. And that's how St. Peter went and wept bitterly, as the Bible tells us. So affirmation is important for the children, that will help them to proper, frequent affirmation from parents helps the children to have good self-esteem. The question becomes, حد نام يا جماعة؟ لو انت نمت ارفع ايدك. كويس. 2 نايمين. 3 نايمين. طيب. Is affirmation for the spouse, you see the spouse? Is it in bold or no? In bold, yes. Is part of Christian parenting? If you tell me yes or no, tell me why. Because I never connected both. Is affirmation of the spouse, from the husband to the wife, from the wife to the husband. This has something to do with Christian parenting. Dr. Nabil covered that as couples. But our lecture now is about parenting. Yes or no? How? And how is that beneficial for them? She's saying this, I'm saying the children see that as an example. My question is, when they see that as an example, how is that beneficial? That's beneficial for the spouses. How is that beneficial for them? Yes, in the back.
Instead of talking the talk, walking the walk.
What does it mean in English? Simplify the English for me. Exactly. I am showing them a modeling in reality, not by talking the talk and walking the walk and eat the food. No, I am showing them what is a Christian marriage is like. Number 1. Number 2, some parents, they tell you, we're always in a conflict as parents, but we're living only for what? For the children. You hear that all the time. Okay? Children think like that. Okay? This is also proven scientifically. This is not somebody's opinion. Okay? Some parents, they separate. The marital relationship is miserable, but we love our children. Dad with the children is beautiful, and mom with the children, she can die for them. But it has nothing to do with the relationship upstairs here between the couples. Children think like that. If dad and mom can stop loving each other, dad and mom will eventually stop loving me. Since love comes and goes. Right? Okay. So dad and mom, they are, in conflict, and they shout and they yell and bad words and slamming the doors. We see that as children. That means I am not being loved. Even if dad and mom tell me, we love you, Mike. We love you, Mary. They will stop loving me as a child. So, affirmation of the spouse is part of the Christian parenting. We have a beautiful verse in Colossians. Fathers, do not provoke. In some translations, do not exasperate. And some other translations, do not embitter. Embitter make the children bitter, angry. Your children, lest they become discouraged. Beautiful psychological statement. A person can write a book on this statement only from the 1st century. Before there was any psychology or counseling or parenting courses or anything. The Holy Spirit is talking through St. Paul. Fathers, do not provoke your children lest they become discouraged. If you provoke them, you put them down all the time, you call them names, you call them negative names, and some of us have PhDs in this. I am destroying his and her self-esteem. They will become discouraged. In Arabic is even more beautiful. حد عارفها بالعربي in Arabic؟ لألا لألا يفشلوا. Beautiful. لألا يفشلوا. They would fail in life. They will fail psychologically and spiritually. Okay, so the 2 A's we got so far is what? Remember, what is our title? How to get an A in Christ. I don't want to get an F. F is no good. Okay. A third A is attentive listening. مين حضر معانا? Who attended with us 6 months ago? Okay. My share of the day was couples communication and the cancers in couples communications. If you have attended, can you finish the following sentence? The cancer of communication is. مين يرفع ايده يقول لنا؟ لا هنا لا ده عارف كل حاجة. Yeah, Stephanie. Excellent. Stephanie attended 6 months ago with attentive listening on her part. This is why she remembers it. The cancer of communication is interruption. Interruption. A cancerous Middle Eastern habit. If you don't believe me, go to any Egyptian gathering and record the conversation, whether you tell them in advance or you don't tell them in advance. If you don't tell them in advance, Attorney George can sue you. So you have to tell them in advance, I'm recording it for research purposes. The contents of the conversation are irrelevant. It doesn't matter. What I am recording is the interruption, right and left. And I don't know why we do that. Some people say, because, number one, I already formed an answer. So I want to respond to your question. But I can't form an answer for an incomplete question. I need to listen attentively to what you're saying till the end and keep this closed. Control yourself. Okay? Who consider Christ to be the master communicator. He communicated beautifully with many examples in the Bible. With Nicodemus, Samaritan woman, was a beautiful example of your communication back and forth. With Saint Peter, many times on an impulsive behavior with all the people who repented. And this is why our brothers, the Muslims, they call the disciples, تعرف ايه بالعربي in Arabic? Yeah, حواريين, the conversationalists. They converse with Christ and he responds to them. Okay? Sometimes we feel that since the children are little people, they are not worth listening to. Yani a child, he's that big. Some parents they think children are what? Blank, comma, not. Huh? Yes, children are seen, not heard. You مسموح له يروح الباثروom. It's allowed for him to go to the back, move around it, okay? But he's not allowed to make noise or talk or ask questions or inquire or ask me questions or make me waste my time because I don't have any time for him. That is the good parenting. It does not work. Attentive listening, okay? We have a beautiful rule if you just want to go home with some brief rules in your head, okay? Number two. Two busy parents, what does it give me? Gives me two, T-O-O, messed up child. Sometimes we have a parent who is working double job. And we understand life is not easy and financial obligations. We empathize with everybody. We've been there before. But when you have two busy parents, we have a bombshell. If mom and dad are running around and the children are given to nobody or anybody, we are going to have a problem in the teenage period. It is just simmering. It's building up. It's escalating gradually. So please, the time is important in getting an E in Christian parenting. The best thing we can spend on our children is not money. Lots of parents think it is money. I'm telling you, no, it is not. I have seen multi-millionaires families, okay, where money is not an issue, where any new car is nothing, okay? It does not help to build a healthy personality. Okay, who can have a comment here? So, spend time. One psychologist said you can do anything with children if you play with them. If you go on the floor and pretend you are a stupid, animal and draw pictures and have colors, shakhabid, that's beautiful time with the children. Why? If I am a child, what do you think I would feel? If my dad, who is a doctor, an engineer, a COO of a businessman, and he sits on the floor and he draws stupid pictures with stupid colors that doesn't mean anything. What is the message the child is getting? Yes.
I am sharing with my child what's important to the child is important to me, and that's a very big thing to a little child.
حد سمع الأنسر ورا؟ Yeah, she said, I am sharing with my child. What is important for the child is important for me. It is good, but I want to go higher than that. Had عنده different answer? Yes.
I am important.
Exactly. I am the child. I am important. Dad left everything and look at him. He's spending, he has 2 million things to do, but he would rather sit with me. I am of some value to him. I am valuable in practicality, in actuality, not only in words. Why? What can we do with an over-talkative child? I don't have an answer. I need your help. Some of the children, ages 3 to 6, you just the motor is on the 5th gear, and the talkativeness is really a problem for some parents. What do you think we can do? Listen. Okay, and then listen some more. And some more listening. And then you will start to get tired. And you will feel your blood pressure is going higher. And you get irritated and frustrated. Yes. Okay, have to bring a friend for the boy or the girl, and they can talk with each other. Good solution. Yes.
Can I bring something up? My son was like 4 or 5 years old, and I was driving from Marina to Santa Clarita, and he like told us why. And I kept on not giving up. He asked me questions why. All the way from Marina to Santa Clarita, when I give him answer, he asked me another question, answer another question, until we get home in Santa Clarita, and I keep answering him and why, I threw him out, and I keep on answering. I didn't give up.
And you giving me a question or a statement? Because I gave up. So I didn't. You didn't. Beautiful. And actually, in child psychology, in Christian counseling, ages 2 to 4, that's what they call it. The why stage. Why? عشان رايحين عند uncle. ليه رايحين عند why? رايحين عند Uncle Tom because that's his birthday. Why it is his birthday? Because his birthday is every June 23rd. Why specifically June 23rd? That's when he was born. Why was he born? Because I don't know why was he born, but you have to find an answer. You answered him why he was born? Yes. I see. Yeah. طبعا, if every solution of this can be partial solution, but over talkative child can indicate one of the following areas. Number 1, okay? He is bored, or she is bored. Okay? So I need to keep them busy with games, hobbies, activities. Number 1. Number 2, it is possible in counseling we have something called negative attention. Negative attention, meaning I'm not giving my child any attention, and that is the way he gets the attention. Why? So dad is involved, mom is involved, because other than that, dad is on the computer, mom is cleaning and cooking, and I am left by myself. Number 3, it can be an indication of a high IQ, high intelligence. I want to know. So give it. But why? That based on what? Based on what? Based on the one before, based on the one before. Number 4, If I am getting irritated, and that can happen with parents, I know children who will not stop. Yeah. So, yani attentive listening can work in the first 10 hours. After 10 hours, you will feel, something is not right there. So, it is very possible to say, Mike, I really would like to answer you. I am busy right now. How about discussing it after dinner? But please, stick to the commitment. Stick to the promise. Okay? When I say we'll discuss it after dinner, and I forget or avoid him, then I am increasing the talkativeness. Because dad promises and mom promised and never fulfilled it. So it is better to ask them right now. So we can have organized, scheduled communication. That's healthy. Yes, Shireen.
How about if you, sometimes I throw it back at them. I say, why do you think this? Or why do you think that? At least, I'm getting answers from them and I don't have to come up with the answer.
Okay. When you talk to a mother of 3 children, 2 of them are twins, you can benefit from it. Yes, you can benefit from it. Yeah. So give back the question back. Why do you think? Let me hear your opinion. I have no opinion. Hear your opinion first. And yeah, that's correct. I was about to say that. Yes. Okay. And the last point in the attentive listening, we have the 4th point, and then we'll stop. Why communication with teenagers is challenging for the parents? The teenagers is a specific species. And when you look around and you study them and you study their characteristics, they are interesting in human specimen. But why we can't cover it today, but why communication with them is difficult? All the parents of teenagers, you're like, I'm pulling my hair, I have high blood pressure, I got diabetes, okay? And though it is a beautiful phase of development, and they can mushroom into beautiful human beings, but we don't know how to deal with them. So, yes.
They don't answer you at all.
When you ask them,
Avoid it.
they avoid talking with parents. Okay? Yes.
Because they know everything and you know nothing.
Okay, they think they know everything, and they think dad and mom, they don't know anything. Yes. Same? You're sharing your sister's opinion. Yeah, the same genes almost. Yes.
They always say, you'll never understand. You'll never understand where I'm coming from. You just don't get it. You'll never get it.
It's coming. It's coming. Yeah. Anybody? Yes. Richard and the wife?
Some parents were born in Egypt and came to a third world country, so you know, and with a different plan.
So they feel, the teenagers, they feel parents are from a different planet. Almost.
Because from one point here, there's one here, it's different. Different culture, different everything in the country.
Okay. Yes.
They're also challenging with their questions and with their answers.
Yes.
I want to see how they respond.
They challenge us with the questions and their answers to our question. Yes, Yusuf.
The stuff they're asking about sometimes is kind of challenging for us to answer, our Egyptian background.
I see. So the subject itself can be challenging for us, being from a foreign, different culture. Yes. And are you a psychologist?
I'm sorry?
Are you a psychologist?
No.
Okay. Should be. Yes.
No, they are, this is the time where they are trying to find themselves and establish their personality, and they want to stay new and build who they are, their thoughts, their belief system, everything.
That's correct.
That's where they're
To summarize here, this is the phase, the teenage phase, is where they establish their personality and they want to separate from the parents. Actually, in teenage, what we call is the ego phase. سن الذات. أنا بص 12 بقيت قد إيه؟ I go to the gym, I play basketball, I am developing into a beautiful young woman with full female characters, and my hair is that, and my length is that, and my height is that, and now I want to prove myself. So it is sin is that, and that's not bad, but we need to be sensitive to the number one, affection. Number two, the affirmation. Number three, the attentive listening. We need to go to number four because it is connected. Okay? Number four, and that's the last point, in how to get an A in Christian parenting, is acknowledging the generation gap. We have to acknowledge it. We have to know it does exist, and it does exist between American-born parents and American-born teenagers. In our case, it is more intensified if you are foreign-born, because, as you said, the cultural issues, the language issues, some of the habits and the customs are a little bit different. So the gap will get bigger, will get wider. And this is just the way it is. In families, that is, an American-born parent, they complain about the teenagers that there is a generation gap. That is the name in psychology, generation gap. Who can tell me what is a fob? Yes. What does it mean? I don't understand. Did you hear the answer? No. Fresh off the boat. حضرتك is a fob, I am a fob, he is a fob. Okay. بس أنا ما هو طبعا من ضمن صفات, one characteristic of the fob is that he does not know what is a fob. So we need to explain to him what is a fob. Okay, فقلت لي fresh off the boat. I didn't get it. Yes.
They formed your identity in a different country, and you're more culture and everything in a different country. You come here, you can't relate as well.
No, I'm talking about the acronym, what is the word? Acronym? Yeah. Where did that? I can't even say it. Where did that come from? مين يساعدنا? Yes, Father. Exactly. The early immigrants came from Europe before the aeroplanes, and they came on a boat, landed in Staten Island, where the Statue of Liberty is, to the dream country, the dream land in the United States, and they came. They didn't have much, materialistic stuff. They just came to build the future. So they are fobs, fresh off the boat. My two girls were 7 and 10, a long time ago. And they were discussing this at home because Uncle XYZ is a fob. And Uncle XYZ and Dad is a fob. Do you know the characteristics of a fob? No? Oh. Okay. Judy doesn't know, so I need to educate her. A fob is somebody who has a big belly in front of him. This is a characteristic. Number two, he speaks with a heavy accent. Number three, he types one word on the computer per day. Number four, he talks while he's eating. So these four characteristics for a fob. So I asked my two girls, Uncle Dad and Dad is a fob. I said, the era of the fobbishness, I guess, if you would, is gone because there is no boats anymore. I came, I was born in a different country. I didn't come on a boat. She said, yes, but you are an Egyptian. You came on the plane. You can say plane. So you're still a fob. Egyptians cannot say a P. They can say B. We don't have a P in the alphabet, Arabic alphabet. So I will call the police for you. And don't park the car in the back of the church. Okay? So I asked my daughter, okay, so I'm still a fob. She said yes. I said, okay, if a man is a fob, what do you call his wife? She said, a fobette. Okay, so that is a fob. Okay, so why is the generation gap intensified when the parents are foreign born? Like we said, they bring their own culture, habits. Of course, the language can be challenging for the newly immigrants, and so on. The challenges of technology is an issue. Maybe we can discuss in some other times. But I think we need to be aware that technology is a double-edged weapon. In some Christian families, whatever my son asks for, or my daughter, I will buy for him or her. iPad 3, iPad Retina, computer, Apple, or $2,000, okay? Because God had given me money in the immigration land, and now I just want to give them love. Remember? It is a double-edged weapon. Okay? I need to select what's beneficial for my child and get it. If it is helpful, beneficial, to build him or her psychologically or spiritually, but not everything I will buy. I will leave you with a question, because I was faced with this question in one of the lectures. There is no right or wrong answer. There is no black or white answer. What do you do with a 9-year-old child who is during the liturgy is playing with his iPhone? If you know the answer, raise your hand, please. We need to share it. There is no correct or right answer or wrong answer. It is a challenge. It is a new challenge. Yes. Who are you? The parent. Tell him to or her to stop. If they don't, take it away. Yes.
Why would a 9-year-old have an iPhone?
Excellent question. Why a 9-year-old boy has an iPhone? Some parents, I'm just telling you, some parents do that. I don't want my child to be deprived of anything. So iPhone, you give it to him. Yes. تفضلي حضرتك.
Are you teaching and enforcing that this is the house of God and it has to have the ultimate stuff? As we are listening to the word of God.
Right.
And it has to have an ultimate stuff, and this is no place for God.
So as a parent, what would you do? You tell him that and then
I will tell him that and
take it away from him.
Or I don't even bring it. Why
That's another, excellent. Don't bring it. Exactly. If you go into the liturgy, the iPhone, you are not a businessman. You are 9-year-old. There is no deals coming from overseas. You are going to miss. That's right. That's right. That's if you have bought it. Right? Yeah. Dr. Naim, you had a comment? Yeah. حد عايز يقول حاجة تاني? Yes.
Our message over Australia, English, and picture. We want to have
You mean on the iPhone? In a book? Excellent. We are glad that Coptic Church is catching up with technology nowadays. Yes, George. Anything? Yeah, Shireen?
Well, my son has an iPod,
Yes.
but he knows, I mean, we have an understanding that the iPod, he can take it, but after church, completely after church. I'll keep it in my purse, and he can have it after church. So that's an understanding we had even before we bought the iPod. So
Okay, so there are rules. Right. There is clarification. There is respect of the house of God, as we heard. And if we are going to church, we don't need the iPod, or if we need the iPod, you need to respect.
a couple of times, even after we set the rules.
Right.
But we reminded him of, this was our, deal. That we
Right.
did it. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody wants to add anything before we stop? Because we are over time now. Yes.
ممكن تفكركم قبل القداس يعني يفضلوا العشية يجوا بعد القداس يفتكروا الكتاب انهم يقروا ومع ابونا وهو في الليترجي بيقول ايه حضروا.
Okay. So the answer is to prepare them in advance and to follow Abuna from the book or from the screen. Where is Abuna and why he is in this part? Or that's also another way of involving them. Yes, Dr. Naim.
Something not necessarily to answer a question, but it's very important. Most churches nowadays have Wi-Fi in the church. Inform whoever is responsible to disconnect the internet during the lesson.
It's another
I
point.
couldn't be checking any other site while that's nonsense.
I see. You're talking about, Dr. Salama is talking about churches now has Wi-Fi connections, and maybe it is a chance for somebody who wants to get connected to the internet and has no access at home to bring the iPhone and connect to the internet during the liturgy to go to certain sites. So Dr. Salama is suggesting to stop the Wi-Fi. I don't know how do you do that during the liturgy, but it's a point well taken. Yes.
You can download it and use a phone without the internet.
Okay, we can't debate that tomorrow. We need to stop. Yes. Last question or comment.
What do you do if you find the next month you
What do you do if the lady next to you is playing with the iPhone? She is playing with the iPhone? كلمي her جوزها. Talk to her husband. What do you want me to do? Okay, so what are the four A's? We need to stop. What are the four A's in Christian parenting? How to get an A in Christian parenting? Number 1, affection. Number 2, affirmation. 3, attentive listening. Number 4, acknowledging the generation gap. We're going to stop. You can stand up and